Let's get away, mystery lady. I know the world is going crazy, but I can see you having my baby. Let's get away. Let's get away, mystery lady. I know the world is going crazy, but I can see you having my baby. Let's get away. Let's get away, mystery lady. I know the world is going crazy, but I can see you having my baby. Let's get away. Let's get away, mystery lady. I know the world is going crazy, but I can see you having my baby. Let's get away. Mystery lady, I know the world is going crazy, but I can see you having my baby. Let's get away, mystery lady. I know the world is going crazy. I can see you having my baby. Let's get away. Let's get away, mystery lady. I know the world is going crazy.
Jamille, I remember in 2006 when you decided to go to Atlanta. I wasn't really excited about you going, but I saw that you were determined to go because when you were on your way, the car broke down and you got out of your car and got into your cousin's car and had your car towed back home and kept going to Atlanta. And then from there, I just saw how you began to bloom. And you had your ups, you had your downs. And even though I was here and you were there, I was still just a phone call away. And we talked every day. It's just been exciting to see how you've grown, how you've changed your way of thinking, how you've enlightened me in your journey, how you've shared so much knowledge, and you've taught me so much. You've taught me how to think for myself. You've taught me how to investigate for myself and seek out the truth. And that's something that I never did before. And I'm really grateful for that. It has taken a lot of courage for you to do the things you've done. You have made me proud. I'm excited for you. I love you. I admire you. You encourage me to pursue the best me that I can possibly be. In all that I do, I share with you. And I'm grateful for that, and I love you.
Mystery lady, I know the world is going crazy. I can see you having my baby. Let's get away. Let's get away, mystery lady. I know the world is going crazy. Good morning, everybody. Got my voice a little raspy. Good morning, Kiana Quarles. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning.
Gotta get some more of them cheers. What's up?
What it do?
Man, I know we took last weekend off, but we back, shout. You know what I'm saying? We back in that thing, folk.
Long time back.
Yeah, man. I want to thank everybody that chimed in on what came to watch the Audacity podcast with Neith Ninth. It was a really elaborate one, and I would recommend everybody go back and listen to that and take out some notes and get some books and just get some terms and all that stuff. Start looking up on your own. But with no further ado, I want to get straight to it. Coming to America 2. Did you watch it? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
I watched it. There were some chuckling moments in it. There were a lot of references to the original Coming to America. A lot of them,
Too
almost to the
many.
point I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, almost to the point
We
I was
get it.
like,
We saw the first one. We love the first one.
yeah, yeah. So, um, but you know, there were some chuckles there, but I can honestly say that I laughed the most at the outtakes towards the end, like during the credits and stuff. I don't know if people actually sat and watched that, but I did because I always like to see stuff like that. But they were funny to me. But yeah, I don't know. It was just, I mean, it was a tad on the corny side. It was like a like I
I
don't
feel
want to
like it's
over
hard for us
criticize
to
it.
critique this because we love the first one so much and we love a lot of the
Yes.
actors that's in it. But I'm about to critique the hell out of it.
Well, you don't think we should save it for another shot? I don't think
No,
everybody has seen
no,
it.
no, no. Because everybody ruined it for me. You know, before I was like, ooh, I can't wait to watch this. Like, you ain't gonna like it. It's corny. You ain't gonna like it. I was like, man, whatever. I'm gonna like it. And when I started it, I was like, oh, this ain't that bad. It's actually good. And then when he came to America, Coming to America 2 is the equivalent of, you remember when you was younger and they used to fry chicken, they would put the paper bag and they put the cornmeal in it and they put the chicken, they shake it. So what Coming to America was the bag and they poured Colt 45 in there. They poured BT Uncut and shook it around and then threw some over sexualization and bastardized the whole concept of what it is to be African. And just, why would anybody want to, after watching that, if you know they sprinkle some Wakanda in there, once you watch these type of programs, especially as somebody that has no clue of any type of African culture, as a black person anyway, if you have no clue, a lot of times you gain your clues or your ideas from the movies. That movie was like a tap dancing, shucking and jiving. I was like, what is going on here? So all we're good for is sex, singing, rapping, and dancing with all these beautiful colors, with all these beautiful people. And I get it. It was supposed to be a comedy. But I mean, you look at the first one, I don't see where it would have
I
been
don't.
that difficult to make a good, solid part 2 from the part 1 instead of keep referencing, you remember what we did back in the 80s? You remember that? The
Yeah,
McDowell.
but you know what? I honestly think like for the if you think back to the first one, do you think that you would have honestly felt the same way about this one? Like, had you been as knowledgeable as you are now and watched the one in the 80s, would you feel the same?
Yeah, because
Because honestly, it was the one in the 80s, it had just as much.
the one in
I
the
mean, well, I'm
80s
not gonna say
had
just
a
as much. It
sprinkle
wasn't
of it. It had a sprinkle of it. This was like put the
because
whole
most,
bag on top.
but and that is because they were Africans in America
Mm-hmm.
versus this. The new one was the American in Africa. So I mean, I guess I could see where you're coming from because of that fact. But there was still
It
some
digressed.
stereotypes in there.
It digressed. It was full of stereotypes. When I saw Wesley Snipes come through there, I was like, brother, Wesley, brother. Blade, Nino, Hal Sway. Why would you do this? And James Earl Jones, I know after he watched this, he probably was like, we all deliberately disobeyed.
You deliberately disobeyed
You
me.
deliberately disobeyed me, Simba.
But
I couldn't make it through the whole movie. I had to turn it off. Matter of fact, I'm gonna soak myself in the Lake of Manitonka and watch the first one again. It was good to see some faces in there
it was.
that I'm cool with,
It
that I
was.
actually know, and I was like, oh, that's cool to see them in there. But, whew, you and
Yeah.
I bet that it. I'm gonna look it up, but I bet it cost more to make this movie than it did the first one.
I'm almost sure it did. My only thing is, this is my thing. I almost feel like I almost feel like there were two components that took away from the main storyline. Like the main storyline to me was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
Like
actually cool.
yeah, like him finding out he had a son in America and so on and so forth.
The CGI was tight
But
too because they pulled Arsenio's face back super tight. They made it. His box wasn't as big, but I was like,
yeah,
okay.
I was thinking about that. I was like, dang, that is cool. Like, I was really trying to figure out, was this like, did they take this scene out of the first
That was
one, or and
CGI.
then when I saw Leslie Jones, I said, boy, they know they some bad boys, boy. These techies, honey, they take it to another level
Oh man.
because I sure couldn't tell the difference. They did a really good job,
Yeah.
but I it was like the two components was that of the referencing, a lot of the referencing to the old one, and then that of the it was too much music to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like this was BT
It was
Uncut.
a lot. It was a lot of music. A lot of it was
It
almost
was a
like
musical without being a musical.
it was a musical without being a musical. And I was like, I want some more of the storyline. Like, this is just too much. Like, you got all these performances and dancing, and then your boy who was singing the original "She's Your Queen to
Yeah.
Be." He done remixed and sung something else. It was yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, but
It was good to
I
see some of
mean,
a lot of the
it
people
was
though.
and I really wanted like some of those. I wanted some more laughs, some
Yeah.
more laughs. That's what I watched it for.
Yeah. It was a
Like
bunch of
I didn't want the chuckle. I wanted like
yeah.
those gut
Yeah.
wrenching laughs.
Like the first
You know
one.
that. Yeah,
It was a bunch of cheesiness. They put Kraft cheese on.
yeah. And then I noticed that like it was a lot of because now a lot of like you have to be politically correct with a lot of things.
They
Like,
weren't nowhere
back
near
then,
politically correct though.
no. I'm saying, like, as far as the stereotypes, now, when it comes to black people, you can do stereotyping all day long,
And won't nothing
but you
happen. Yeah.
have to, yeah, but you have to do something to where like, this reaches audiences further back. You can't offend women, you can't offend, uh, white women, you can't offend the LGBTQIA plus, you can't offend like you it's so I feel like some things they had to stay they kind of had to
With us,
stay
like
with.
forget we can't
Yeah,
offend nobody else, but we gonna give it to us.
yeah, yeah,
Ah,
but it was, yeah, it was nice to it was not like you said, it was nice to see some faces.
yeah, like we've been missing y'all. Come, come back.
Yeah, definitely missing them.
Now that y'all got that check, now let's put something real out. Now, come on now,
Yeah,
you can do it.
yeah. But like I've tried. This is my that last night was my second time watching it. I fell
Oh,
asleep the first time, so I started watching it. But that was my fault. I knew I wasn't gonna make it through that movie, whether it was funny or not, or engaging or not.
you just
I knew I
had
wasn't
to
gonna make
make
it.
sure that you laid your eyes on it first, as soon as you
Listen,
could.
yeah,
Yeah,
I did. It came on, and I went out, and it was it. So
yeah,
yesterday I was like, nope, I'm gonna make it through this tonight. So
yeah. I heard the week before. The week before it was released, somebody was like, "You ain't gonna like it." I said, "Whatever." And I don't take nobody's opinion when it comes
how did
to
I get it a
film.
week before?
They do the preview. I mean, certain places with certain people they get to see the movie first.
Oh.
And so I was like, I don't believe you. So then it came out yesterday, but it was, you could have previewed it the day before yesterday, and then just people just like crapping on. I was like, man, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Okay, maybe it's just not long enough. I'm okay with that. And
It's almost 2 hours long.
it should have been longer though.
It was an hour and 48 minutes.
Yeah, all the movies now, they like 3 hours almost. You're about to have to take half days off from work to watch movies now. Remember when we was kids, movies was like 45 minutes or something like that? Was it 45 minutes or it wasn't over an hour, I don't think. And then it jumped to two. I think the Titanic was the first 2 hour movie. I'm probably off.
Honey, I don't remember that because the never ending story was just that.
Was what, 2 hours?
The never ending story.
Gabriel. No, what was the name?
It was Atreyu.
Yeah.
Atreyu. Yeah.
I think I was a kid. I didn't pay attention how long that movie was.
But anyway. It was Sebastian and Atreyu.
Yeah.
Listen, that movie lasted forever, and then they had the nerve to make another one.
A sequel. It's probably still going on right now. But so I had friends on Twitter that they was just crapping on. I was like, man, now it started to come from people that I really trust their opinion when it comes to media. And I was like, I don't believe you still. I was in my cognitive dissonance stage. I was like, no, I don't believe you. You're lying.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you somebody whose opinion I value in music and in TV. Like, I don't really say it too much, but if I'm scrolling on Facebook, like I don't jump in the comments too much. But it's shout out to Indie Juneteenth. So James Webb, J-Dub. Mm-hmm. Yes, like he critiques music and movies often. So if I'm scrolling and I see something and he's like, yeah, it was pretty dope, or nah, son, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. then I'm just like, yeah, if Dub said it, then I ain't. Nah, I ain't with it. Nah, son, nah.
J-Dub hit you with the dice. What did he say?
Yeah, like he hadn't seen it yet, so he hadn't seen it before I had seen it. So I'll await his review and see what he's talking about, because he's quite honest when it comes to stuff like that, and kind of unbiased until it comes to like the East Coast hip hop. But I digress.
You don't throw shots while he ain't here. I would love to see, and I don't know if I would ever be privy, but I would love to hear like what Eddie really, really thinks of the movie. Because you remember Will Smith, he was in Wild Wild West when he was running the show. He's like, yeah, come see my movie. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then years later, he was like, yeah, that wasn't it. That wasn't the move. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
I'm not on here just to glorify how much I didn't like it, but like that's a legacy item coming to America. And
it is.
I would like to see like their honest opinions. Like, what did you really think? And maybe, when you go to the editing process, maybe there were multiple versions, and then this was the final one that the
final cut.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like in this climate, like, all laughs are welcome. Like, I want to laugh so bad, and when I saw that, I was like, yes. Like, I'm ready for this laugh. I'm ready to bust my gut. I'm ready for that.
I had more laughs on the trailer.
Yeah.
When that brother, I can't. We're not telling the movie. We just talk about how we feel about it.
No, we've practically just told the whole movie. Don't listen to that.
We didn't tell the whole movie. Because I've seen people that love it, and I'm like, okay.
Well, let them like it. If they like
I'm
it,
not
then they
stopping
don't
them from
like it.
liking it. That's why I was like, okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. People like lima beans. That's
So what's your point? I like lima beans.
exactly. You're like one out of how anybody likes lima beans, comment right now. Let's see who likes lima beans. Lima beans probably still make some adults cry. You remember as a kid, you took so many L's from not wanting to eat lima beans. You're like, well, listen, I'm gonna have to take this whooping today.
it it was the same lima beans and Brussels sprouts, but my mama never made lima beans. My grandmother was the bean cooker. White beans, black beans, kidney beans, lima beans, Brussels sprouts. That was my grandmother.
So we about
It
to
wasn't really.
we about to transition over to some food real quick. So about that, my cousin, Komay, if he's listening, Komay loves peas. Like peas?
I love peas too. Peas are
Yuck.
dope. What?
Listen,
What? Are you kidding me?
as children, we would risk our lives by not eating peas. We would do kids we as children we don't know that we being stupid, but we would act like we eating it when the adults walk by, and then when they walked away, we put it in a napkin, and they would be like, "Can I
Oh, that's
excuse myself
petty.
and go to the restroom?" And everybody would do it one by one.
And nobody ever noticed
Yes, come on now. Ass whoopings were handed out like checks.
that.
Those were
Like stimmies.
stimmies. Yeah, you gonna come get your stimmy. But my cousin Komay, he loved peas. I'd be like, "Hey, cuz, you want some
You
peas?"
want my peas? Yeah,
You
you
look
want some
up,
more?
everybody would have regular food, and he would just have a pyramid of peas on his plate. Oh man,
I
nah,
love peas.
yeah, and you love lima beans, so that's weird. And
Nah, you can put like my mom used to put peas in tuna casserole and
but you not tasting the peas at that time. You just got a
oh
whole
no no
bunch
no
of.
no no. You could taste them. You can taste them. And then and then we used to have like mixture of peas and carrots and I liked peas.
So, speaking of food, I just posted on my social media accounts this dish that I made yesterday. And I'm gonna tell y'all, people keep commenting in the vegan groups like how to make this type of stuff. I'm about to give y'all the recipe right now. It's so simple, and it shocks me that these plates at these restaurants or like I felt like I'm ready for Hell's Kitchen after I did what I did. And all you need is a blender. So I got some coconut milk, the coconut milk in the can.
Mhm.
You get that.
Yeah, makes everything thicker.
You get cashews. Just regular cashews, not salted, no nothing. You put that in. So I have a bullet XL. Put
Mhm.
you put that in the bullet XL if you got some type of bullet or those type of machine devices. You put that in there, and then you get some masala powder. Put that in
Now,
there.
with your cashews, do you soak your cashews before you do that to make it easier? You know, it'll make it easier on your blending process too.
Well, I probably should, but I just was like, let me try this out. So, so put that in the recipe going forward. Sort of maybe soak them. So anyway, you put that in the masala in there, and then you put a little cumin in there, and then you blend it, and you blend it until it's really smooth. You can put your salt and pepper in there too. You can put any other seasoning in there too. So then while that was going, I cut up and cleaned some Brussels sprouts, put them in the air fryer,
Mm.
seasoned them, let them go. And then in a pan, I cut up mushrooms, got them going. And then when you put all that together, It turns out to
Amen.
it turns out to be that beautiful dish, and it was delicious. Like I'm eating it, and I'm like, you know how Eddie Murphy said in Raw, well, what kind of salt? What was it? Saltine is the best crack I've ever had in my life. This is saltine. Woo. So I'm eating it like, what is this? You know what it is, Jamil. Boy, this is the most delicious plate I've had all year. And it really came out good, and it was really good. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid to cook. Because when you're not cooking, you don't know what you're eating.
Ain't that it? You got to do some in-depth reading. Well, that is when you buying some stuff that you ain't got to make from scratch, that box stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I know somebody that told me that they thought eating eating TV dinners was healthy. I was like, how, Sway? Do you not read the contents of your you're not eating anything, as a matter of fact. So
Yeah.
Enough with the food. I know some people are up early, jamming in the kitchen, getting breakfast, as they used to say as kids.
Oh.
So we're gonna come over to you to get to your fun fact for the day. Are you ready?
Yeah.
That is a fun fact. Want to hear a fun fact? It's like a fun fact. Another fun fact. Here's a fun fact. Or not so fun fact. Or here's another not so fun fact.
Not so much fun anymore, is it?
So today, Jamille, and everyone's. So I'd like to talk about the importance of language as it pertains to us. I talk about this a lot, because in researching us and who we are, language has changed so much over the centuries. And it's not on really our behalf. It's based on what other people call us, what the government refers to us as, what they choose that one person to tell us, to tell them what they think everybody, what all of us should be called, and then they just run with it, and then boom, here we are. Negro, niggers, coloreds, colored folk, people of color. It's gone through just a gamut of different names, and all of it is divisive. None of it ever seems to really stick. So now we're in this age of really trying to discover who we are, because we've never really had that. So you got people who we're Moors, we're this or that, we're the original Black indigenous people of color, we're this, we're that. Like it's just so much, and none of it is really us standing in solidarity with one another. Like, So I just want to say how important language is in the ultimate goal of establishing identity and solidarity. I was watching an interview of our beloved champion, Jane Elliott. On this interview, this I guess vlog or whatever it is on YouTube, and it's called Viral Hip Hop. And I noticed a change in her language. It differed from the 1970 documentary Eye of the Storm, and even the 1985 documentary A Class Divided, which was a look into her third grade experiment coined the Blue Eyes, Brown Eyes experiment. Though she herself never made mention of Black people in this experiment, she did say that this was done as a direct response of Martin Luther King's assassination. And even that story has changed over time. You just got to be observant. But nonetheless, her class of third graders knew exactly who this experiment was referring to, as said by one of the white male students who had just fought on the playground for being called brown eyed. He said, "It's just like a black person being called a nigger." And however, and she used people of color a lot in this new interview that I was watching on Viral Hip Hop. And I just wanted to touch on the history of and the usage of the phrase from then and now, that of people of color.
Mm-hmm.
So the ambiguously ubiquitous phrase, yes, those are my $1 million words. I did put those together all by myself. So that phrase, people of color, is a direct derivative of the phrase colored people. And colored people in South Africa meant people of racially mixed ancestry. However, in the United States, the connotation was different. So colored was often taken as a slur when sometimes they said it wasn't intended to be, but it was first used with this meaning in 1611 by the historian John Speed as colored countenances, which was best to replace or to be a synonym of black. So the Oxford English Dictionary's earliest reference for person of color is from the French in the 18th century. A 1797 survey of the population of what is now Haiti described three classes of people, including the class which, by a strange abuse of language, is called people of color, originates from an intermixture of the whites and blacks. And then in 1807, an act to prohibit the importation of slaves into any port or place within the jurisdiction of the United States applied to any Negro, mulatto, or person of color. And then there's in 1912, which was the Baltimore Afro-American paper, the statutes of Kentucky, Maryland, Mississippi, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas assert that a person of color is one who is descended from a Negro to the third generation, inclusive, though one ancestor in each generation may have been white. According to the law of Alabama, one person is a person of color who has had any Negro blood in his ancestry for 5 generations. In Arkansas, persons of color include all who have a visible and distinct admixture of African blood. Thus, it was seen that a Negro in one state is not always a Negro in another. And Martin Luther King Jr. Himself even referred to citizens of color in his speech at the 1963 March on Washington. And I just wanted to point out how careful we have to be in me going through this timeline of where it derived from, who they were referring to, and how now it's like people of color is a phrase that encompasses all non-whites right now. And when used by whites, people of color usually carries a friendly and respectful connotation, but should not be used as a synonym for black. It refers to all racial groups that are not white. That is the definition of, as of now, the political reference. And if you notice how that has changed and how it is made to use things and make things less black, when referring to any type of oppression as it pertains to specifically our people. Like it can indirectly, some things or some forms of oppression can indirectly affect other people, but affect us at a much higher rate. But when when in politics, it's referred to as people of color, not not black people, not the descendants of slaves, descendants of Africans, none of that. It's people of color, and that is the term as it rests right now in 2021. All those that are basically non-whites. So I just want us again to learn, discover, unify. Who are we? Who are you? When it's all said and done, you know, when certain people look at us, before you open your mouth to describe who you are, who you work for, your class status, your what sorority you belong to, any of that, before you open your mouth to describe any of that, certain people judge you by just what they see in front of you. Who is that?
Mm-hmm. That is very, very powerful. And you know what's amazing? And sorry, everybody, I wasn't able to see the comments, but I see them now. We about to bring y'all in and get the. We're gonna get back to some of the previous conversation because I don't want to make y'all feel left out. But it's this is a some type of sick game that's being played on the minds of the masses to the point where the masses don't really care necessarily, but it's the small details that we're missing that should add more context to our perspective. On the podcast I just did the other day, I asked Neith Knight what's her opinions on when black people say that black history is racist. And I've heard black people say that black history is racist because what if there was white history? But when you look at both spectrums, history is racist, period, because neither groups are told the actual facts.
Truth.
Not just truth, because truth and facts are
yes,
different.
Yes, you're right.
So
yep.
when you get when you making a cake, in order to get this cake to this certain texture, to get to this certain taste that you're trying to achieve, there's ingredients, there's a recipe, and you need to follow every last ingredient to get the way it looks, the way it feels, and the way it tastes. You have to follow bam, 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 bam to get it. And if you miss one component, or even if you substitute one component, that alters the dish.
Yep.
And so what happens in society, everything is being altered and nobody's just, they're like, oh, okay, just keep moving. This is what this is. We're going to keep moving. And then you wonder why the plate is just a disaster. But I did everything I was supposed to. Did you?
Right.
Go back and look at the original recipe. Not the revised recipe, the original recipe. We have to be more, man. Who has watched What the Health? You watched What the Health? I know, Kiana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell? Cowspiracy? All of that.
So it takes documentaries to point out the BS, and yet we still continue with the BS, even though we just saw. So what trips me out about What the Health is when they were talking about cancer, and they was talking about what foods not to eat because they they produce an absorbent amount of cancerous cells, which everybody produces cancerous cells, but your body fights it off, especially if you have a healthy immune system and you're doing what you're supposed to do. You can fight those cells off. But when you're not doing what you're supposed to do and you're eating the wrong things, the cells that you would just have are now multiplied. And now your immune system has to put in some overtime. They, I gotta get you. They do all this save yourself type deal, and to the point where they just be like, I quit. I fought a good fight. Y'all play too much. You don't want to live here, no way. But when I saw at the Cancer Society, the association's their menu, they was telling you to eat exactly what causes
what they were. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm looking around like, is anybody else seeing this? But then people want to make fun of people who are trying to do better. Listen, this life ain't about being perfect. It's about it's the effort that you put in each detail to try to live a good life, the best of your capabilities, because you can only do what you can do. I can't do for me what I need to do for me and do for you what you need to do for you.
And then I think I was talking to you about this as well. Like, people need to start trusting themselves as well. Like, there is an innate intuition. Like, it's built in you, and it's built into everybody. You got to trust yourself. Like, listen to yourself. It will tell you everything that you need to know. Sometimes you don't need even a doctor or scientist to tell. Like, just like, you know what's right or wrong. Like, really you do. Really you do. And you don't, like, you have that instinctual feeling inside of you that tells you, just like when I was telling you, like, you get a fruit, you get all these seeds, and you try to grow all these seeds, and you like, dang, it's getting cold outside, but I really want these watermelon. Let me see what these watermelon do. Let me see what these grapes do. Let me see if I can get these to grow. And you plant them outside, you might get a sprout, but it's getting cold outside and it's not growing. Therefore, you know that soil right now, as of right now in this cold weather, is not going to grow.
Yeah.
And you kind of knew that in the first place, but you tried it anyway. And then that was there's a critical thinking process that you go through. I say this all the time. It's a process. So you got to test out your hypothesis. Okay, I want some seeds. It's kind of cold outside. Well, I got some seeds. It's kind of cold outside. The soil is kind of hard. Will it grow? Let's see. Planted them. They sprouted. They not going nowhere else. They kind of frozen now. There's your answer right there. It won't work now.
Yeah.
It won't work now. You didn't need to watch no documentary to tell you that.
Yeah.
You might have needed somebody to tell you, hey, you can do an inside garden. And this is what you got to do for your inside garden. But to plant that outdoors right now, yeah, bro, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. And to bring it back to the POC, the people of color, when you look at the politics, when you look at the verbiage, when they start using people of color now, it has little to nothing to do with American descendants of slaves. It has nothing to do with the black people that were persecuted, that are continuously persecuted and oppressed and repressed. I mean, suppressed and now repressed. It has nothing to do with us. And that's different tactics they use to push to keep. I said this last year. In a capitalistic society, you have to have a winner. You have to have a loser in order to have a winner. And as long as we stay away from wanting to learn the details, the system will always magically produce these nuances that just so happen to scoop a good handful of us over into the losing category. And then you look around, you don't understand why you're losing. So back what I was saying about Black history. So we talk about this offline, and I talk about this with a lot of people. We're continuously force fed the I Have a Dream speech. Like, they never talk about Malcolm X. They never talk about Stokely Carmichael. They never talk about Marcus Garvey. But they are going to make sure you learn the Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream, and where all colored men and women can live happily ever after. You're going to get that story, but you're not going to get the backstory where he does the Homestead lecture, where he talks about, and with the one where he talks about my black is beautiful, and the one where he says don't spend your money where you can't get employed.
Yes,
Three
that
pivotal
one.
points in the in thought process that we are lacking. How you going to teach about a man about this, but you're not going to teach about that? The most powerful point of what he was making that could make this come together is when you get this together. But you don't tell about that. You actually, the preachers, the politicians, the teachers, the parents, they don't want nothing to do with that part of Martin Luther King. The last 2 years of Martin Luther King's life, he wasn't popular because he started talking the same talk that Malcolm X was talking. But we going to keep pushing that I Have a Dream. I mean, it's kids right now doing I Have a Dream speeches. Really, the internet is out now. He's done more than I Have a Dream.
But I don't think that, first of all, the school systems and where these are pretty much taught at, which is in school. Like the adults, we old enough to know and look up and research on our own, but for the babies,
we don't
at school, huh?
I said the adults don't want to.
Yeah, and at school. So, it's the adults that teach the teachers. And then, it's the adults that teach the students. And above them is the higher up adults. Like, they're not, some of that is not even, it's still not even really allowed. Like in the bookstores, they're like, or in their libraries, the school libraries, there's meetings that go on.
Yeah.
That dictate what books go in the libraries of schools, and some of this stuff is not, that they won't allow.
Yeah, information is controlled.
Yeah, so
at the same time, it's free. It's controlled, but it's free.
Mm-hmm. So even if a teacher wanted to kind of break into that door, I'm pretty sure that there's some that kind of that nudge it a little bit, but even still, it's so much more to our history than that speech. And then also, there's a documentary out now on what is it, on Netflix? It's called Amend. Have you seen that?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Right. So it's called Amend, and it's in reference to citizenship as it pertains to Black people. And yes, they do the whole people of color stuff too. Some of the people do, but they do reference Black people, African Americans. They also do that. They talk about the 14th Amendment. And because they said, everybody focuses on the 13th Amendment, but what about 14th Amendment and touching on citizenship?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll let everybody just, y'all kind of watch that. Now, granted, some people have their thing with Will Smith, because Will Smith he's the one that's talking about it. I tried to
watch that. I watched that, yeah, because he was the host. So I watched the first 5 minutes, and then
you gotta watch, you gotta watch the whole thing. And those with inquisitive minds, you look through, you take some information from it, and then you just kind of research what interests you, and really start to find out some things. Mm-hmm. You'll learn.
Yeah. And I had a conversation with my mom a couple weeks ago, and conversations I have with my mom are just mind blowing, because I'd be like, "Word, you show right on."
It's a for show right on.
But she was like, "We don't even." She's like, "We're the we don't even have a name. We we call ourselves black. That's a color. I mean, that's an attribute, and there's nothing wrong with that. But everybody else, their identity is attached to a landmass.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else. You could be black and from Brazil, you're gonna be Brazilian.
And that was a part of establishing like a flag. It was a song a long time ago that was made that said everybody has a flag but the nigger.
Well, I don't know about all that
So,
because Marcus Garvey
well,
gave
that
me a
was
flag. You heard red,
yes,
black,
but
green.
but this song was it was made well before that though.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking
So
about. I heard that before.
yeah, so it was just, and then they did a lot to prevent that flag from circulating. So
Speaking,
because honestly, it's something that they don't want, and still to this day, it's succeeding. We have to establish who we are as a people, and then we got to unify and stand in on that.
so you know what was mesmerizing to me that is right in front of your face, but people, I guess, again, we missed the detail. So I started trying to watch that the United States versus Billie Holiday.
Hmm.
I knew the song "Strange Fruit." I was familiar with who Billie Holiday was. I didn't know that they targeted
That
her
they
for
were.
her song. And I'm like, so wait a minute. You gonna target her for a song and not target the people for killing innocent people? That don't make sense. It's a song, but art is
Because
powerful.
they didn't want her. They said it was inciting a riot. We've heard that before, haven't we?
Right.
But they said it was inciting a riot, and it's essentially they just didn't want us to come together. We are powerful, man. We are powerful.
Man.
Like they are so afraid of what we would do if we really came together, and yet we still divide over. Y'all don't want me on that tangent about us just dividing over the most. We divide over the dumbest stuff. I just cannot express just.
I'm gonna have to get some shout instrumental music so I can play.
Baby, we divide. Oh, like right now, is somebody who is ready to fight somebody because they said coming to America was stupid. Right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah, they
and
ready to fight.
yeah, and it's just so
Let me
it's
tell you,
so
hold on.
mundane.
Let me tell you how easy it is. So I was at work a while ago, and I think the Saints were going to the Super Bowl or something. It was something like that. And this one guy, he was young, and he said, "Man, they better be lucky that they ain't come to Atlanta. Man, I'll punch somebody." I was like, "You gonna punch somebody over a game? You're willing?" And I'm sure he was. I don't know. He sounded serious, but I'm hoping he was playing like, "You really ready to do that over a game that you don't own? Nobody knows you that works at the institution, nor do they care about you individually. They care about you supporting them and pouring your energy and resources into them. They don't give a damn about you, but you about to go risk your freedom and maybe even your life. You hit the right one."
Okay, and
I was like,
it's
wow.
just it's so ridiculous. Like even if you keep you keep your belief system or whatever, but in the end, just know that somehow like we have to come together
We
at
have
some
to.
point
We have to.
to get over all of the stuff that we have gone through. We have to know what our past was in order to like we could still follow and revise those same methods and just and make it better and continue to move on, but we have to do it as a unit.
As a collective, yeah.
We have to
We are
like
the answers to our problems. It's us. Nobody else can fix this. Nobody. We are the only ones. Did you see that video that Barry White did on the Arsenio Hall show?
No.
It was a clip, and he was talking on Arsenio Hall. And he was talking about how powerful of a people we are. We just don't know it. And he said, there's problems on this planet that need to be fixed that only we can fix them.
Barry White said that?
Yes. But you know, back then there was a lot of artists that had pride in themselves. I mean, you look at the artwork, you look at the art, it was beautiful. Like they actually believed in those love songs that they made. They actually believed in those movies that they made. They believed, they had that love, they had that self-love for themselves.
Yeah. And
they weren't going to sell out like that.
And during the 60s and 70s, they also believed in actual artwork, like because I'm an artist, so they actually believed in the artwork that they were putting out.
Yeah.
And during a time when we were told not to use black in paintings because it wouldn't sell.
Yeah, it wasn't all about just getting the bag, selling out. But anyway, Barry White said that, and I had always sort of thought about that, but when he said it, it kind of solidified. I was like, you're right. And this is one of the biggest reasons why we're so divided systemically, why, it's put like that. But I would suggest that everybody, as I often do, everybody that is thinking. A lot of us go throughout the day, we don't think. You hear stories where I don't want to read. I've had a busy day. I just want to not think. Well, you've not been thinking all day. You've been working a job,
been on autopilot
doing that, and afterwards, you're relaxing. So you haven't really critically assessed like your life going forward outside of your 9 to 5. So desire that. You're not going to do it tonight. You're not going to do it tomorrow, but just put that back there and let nature just gradually start to work. And everything that you've heard that some people say that, and what's really telling is how facts offend people. It's like, I didn't make this up. I just found it. I'm not telling you to believe it, because 2 + 2 is going to be 4, whether you believe it or not. But it would behoove you to know it instead of just taking whatever intellectual food that's been handed to you by corporate institutions, and everything that we're surrounded is a corporate institution, even though it might have our face on it. So you start doing your due diligence and start just looking up some of the stuff, and we'll have witnesses. But
okay,
let me get up here and get back to some of these comments. My mama chimed in. What's up, baby? How you doing?
Good morning.
We was late getting to it. We got Tashika Brewer in the house. We got Shishi in the house. What's down, baby?
Hey, shoot.
I don't know why I
hey,
always like
Tashika.
sound like I'm from Houston. Like I'm chopped and screwed or something. Who else we got in here? Caroline.
You so extra.
My guy Jesse chimed in. I think he was talking about he's talking about Coming to America. He says, what'd you say, Jesse? All jokes aside, it felt like the budget was cut and the writers were reaching for laughs. We got a witness. We got a witness. Let's see. So when we was talking about lima beans, Tashika said, yuck. All right. One for the home team, Tashika. Bam.
But Tashika, listen, let me tell you about how she feels, because she always get on me about when I'm posting my Brussels sprout pictures.
Uh-huh.
And I was surprised she didn't say nothing about you when you was talking about your Brussels sprouts.
Listen, my Brussels sprouts look like chicken, look like green chicken, so I was just playing.
See,
I digress.
yes, please.
She don't like Brussels sprouts.
No, no. She does the same thing. Yuck. She,
Yeah.
there go them damn Brussels.
Well, she wasn't the only one because bam, she's that's two for the home team. High
Yeah,
five.
that's all right. It's all
Ah,
right. I mean, they like what they like. You like what you like. I like lima beans.
you do. Just you. Just you. Okay, let's see. I see it. I don't know what she was saying in every house. I don't know. But she was probably saying, in every household, everybody hates lima beans. I'm going to go with that one. Yep, because Kiana's the only human being on earth that likes lima beans.
I'm not.
My guy, Damon Tompkins. What's up, Liam? He said he's, okay. So he's talking about coming to
Oh,
America, too. He said,
yeah,
I'll give
he
it
is.
a 5.3 out of 10.
Dang.
Wait a minute. A 5.3? You're not even going to give him a 5.5?
Dang.
I feel you, Damon.
Oh.
Uh, Uh-oh. She said, and it looked good, too. She talking about that plate. I appreciate you, Dace. I appreciate you. I'm about to just start selling one plate at a time. Who want this? You got another witness with peas, though. Okay. So
Yes.
it's you, my cousin, and Shishi. Y'all the only three people on the planet that like peas.
I don't think so. I think peas just get like peas are good. I think we're more than now. I can see the lima beans. I get it. He. But hey,
Wait a minute. If it's good, why you mean you can see it? See, I think people, their taste buds are suffering from cognitive dissonance too. Okay. She said, "Oh yeah, I've seen your food post. You're about to make me go vegan. Come on over. Come on over to the green side."
ooh, excuse me.
Let's see. Then Tashika
But
says, "People are learning how to cook the culture."
the culture.
Yeah. Look, when I tell you I made that sauce, I'm telling you, I feel like I was ready for Hell's Kitchen. I was like, "Where's the reality TV cooking shows at? I'm ready."
I know you was. You said it to me. You were so excited. I'm so excited. You was
Ooh
ready.
wee, and I just can't hide it. I wish I could pull the picture up on the. That was a proud moment, man. Hold on, let me see what I can do.
Yeah, that sauce was looking fire. It was. I was wondering to myself, I wonder if you can make like a creamy sauce out of like chickpeas.
Man, there's a woman in New York who makes ice cream out of chickpeas.
Oh man, I've seen it made out of like this lime ice cream, and it really looks really good. And the
They made lime
ingredients,
ice cream out of
um,
chickpeas.
no, they made it out of avocado.
Oh
I've
wow.
seen people make ice cream out of avocado, but I could see it being made. I've seen like a pudding sauce or something like that made out of chickpeas too.
Mm.
For some reason, people use chickpeas to make sweets.
Well, yeah. So that's why I was bringing it up. If you can make ice cream with chickpeas, you can probably make perfume with it.
What perfume though?
I'm
Perfume.
just saying you can
I
make
just
anything you want if you can make it out of ice cream. It's almost like New York. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. If you can make ice cream out of chickpeas, you can make
Man.
chicken out of chickpeas. All right. Dang, I can't get the picture. Anyway, picture looked good though, and I only made a one size serving because I was like, if I waste this, it's just gonna be a little bit.
Yeah, I
My mama
like
say
here
peas
lately. I
get a bad
haven't
rap.
been doing. Yes, yes,
Uh-oh.
peas do have a bad rap.
Mama, don't
Thank you,
tell me you
Mama
like
Harley.
peas. Don't you do
No,
this on live TV, baby.
and
Don't you?
yeah, and that right there, that response trumps all of it. So
Well,
that's
Mama,
it.
why wouldn't you eat my peas instead of letting us get whooped by Grandpa then, huh? Why?
Cause you needed that in your life at the time. You needed the peas in your life.
Man, as a kid, we took life risk. We risked our lives to not to eat the peas, not to eat peas. Boy, we was like, listen, we might want to go to heaven instead of eating these peas. We hear it's better up there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show for today. We want to thank y'all, and next Saturday, if you have credit problems, and or you want help getting funding for your business, next week we have a special guest that will come on and help you get all that together, and we're gonna be the liaison to usher you over to her company. I'm not going to tell you who it is right now, but be on the lookout for the flyer. It's going to be coming, and she can help you get your credit together. We had a conversation yesterday, and we was talking about how everybody that we know that looks like us, by the time we get 25, we have horrible credit. And it's primarily because we don't understand credit. Nobody has ever taught credit. Nobody's ever taught any of this stuff. But the banking institution knows that, and they prey on us because a lot of us come from, as they say, humble beginnings. And we like, listen, I need some shoes. I need some this and this. Well, here's $20,000 credit card on us with a
What?
24.3 APR. And you don't care about the APR. You just like, oh,
At all.
let me
At
get some
all.
rims.
You just see $20,000.
Yeah. So we will have
I'm gonna spend this all in one day.
Yeah. We're gonna have some credit relief solutions for you next Saturday. Don't miss it. Make sure you come back. And I've enjoyed our talks today. So go out and have a good weekend. I don't want to say what the weather is here in Atlanta because it might make some people mad. No, I'm just playing.
It's not gonna make us mad because we got sunshine in Indianapolis too. And it's been pretty. So thank you very much. Flight jacket weather. Hey.
It took you long enough. Glad you made it. But
You so petty.
Nah, I love y'all up in Indianapolis. Y'all get to wear winter fashions that we don't have because it's not that cold. But anyway, thank y'all again. That has been the Jamille Harley Morning Show, and we hope to see you back next Saturday.
You are now listening to the Jamille Harley Morning Show.